There was a few bruised bodies the day after the game, and but everybody, like most athletes, are very resilient, and everybody's back today, back upbeat, back out on the football field, and got the energy back, and looking forward to the game tomorrow.
Tom, the players did take a backward step in that game. There's no doubt that anyone saw it could see that. But knowing how Brazil approached it, how they play, is it a matter for the Matildas of fighting fire with fire, or are you going to stick true to your own style of football?
I think it's a combination of both. I think you have to fight fire with fire, and I think the challenge, and we've spoken about it before the game and since, is that Brazil have adopted a very different style of football to what we expect Brazil to play, and a very different style of football to what most of probably the top teams play. So the reality is that you need to be able to match that and play against that, and you need to be able to adjust to try and play effectively against that. So the ideal for us would be a combination of both, that when we get the opportunity to get the ball down and play and keep possession, we do that. The reality, when you're playing against a team like Brazil, the way they play, that's difficult. So you've got to then balance it out by looking at where the opportunities are to hurt them. And a lot of that is actually for us to play a similar kind of game to them, where we get the ball forward early and get our one-to-one matchups against their defenders.
Is that the area that you think you can improve in this game? Like, you had some pretty good chances. They probably took theirs a bit better than you did. Is that the key here?
Yeah, I think that's critical. I think, firstly we need to try and probably do a wee bit better against their forward runs and their early forward passing. But again, that's something you can show the players on video, but until you actually experience it, it takes a little bit of time to adjust. So hopefully, having played against it, the players will be a bit more familiar. But definitely, when you look back at the game, the number of opportunities are very close opportunities that we had to get in behind them and to stretch them and move them around, and we were either just off with the pass, or they fouled us, or we missed the opportunity, was quite significant. So hopefully we can continue to do that part of the game and do it a little bit better.
I know you just said that everyone seems to be fit, healthy and available for this game. Are you going to give anyone a debut match for this clash?
Well, certainly, considering that we've still got to talk. We've got another meeting after this, because we just want to see how everybody has come up today. The staff will get together probably after lunch this afternoon, and we'll discuss the lineup. But there's certainly a very good chance that there'll be somebody making a debut tomorrow.
I know you said that in the press conference after the game, you were surprised at some of her abilities and what she can do in a big game. How big a learning curve could this be for her? What would it mean for the future of Australian football? She can kick on from here, and I guess she'll have another crack here in this match.
Yeah, I would say, without having a crystal ball, that she'll certainly play some part in this game. I'd be very surprised if she doesn't. No, she was excellent the other night, and I think that's exactly what we want to see as a programme, is that we want to see players like Shan get this opportunity and then grab the opportunity and show us the ability she's got. To be honest, apart from watching her in the A-League Women, I hadn't seen a lot of her, and you're never quite sure how a player's going to jump from that level up to the level the other night, and I thought she did an excellent job. So it's for her then to make sure that's not a one-off, and make sure when and if she either starts or comes on tomorrow, that she does exactly the same again. I mean, she's got some fantastic qualities. Her speed with the ball and her ability to go past players was quite exceptional.
I guess as a coach, I guess you've got a juggling act here. You want to make sure you're looking after the future of Australian football and you're ready for the big tournaments that are coming up, but you also want to win as well. How's that for you, not knowing what the future's going to hold?
Well, it is. As I say, when I came into this job, I said to the players and to everybody that my intent was to do the job as if I've come in to do it as a proper job, as in long term, and I have to sort of stick by that because I've got a responsibility to the programme. But like every international, it's a balance between planning for the future but playing in the present. And so the key and part of playing in the present is to try and get results. So it's a combination of all of those things, and it's trying to blend it all together so you get exposure for players, fringe players or new players, but at the same time you try not to compromise the result.
Do you have to make changes given how physical game one was and how close how close they are together?
Yeah, look, you do. I mean, it makes sense, and particularly when you get windows like this and you're bringing players across the world, is that you again want to get that balance between putting a team out that you think can win a game, but also putting players on the field that need to get that exposure and get that experience of playing at this high intensity international level.
Do you hope referees give the players a bit more protection this time?
That would be very nice. I think it's fair to say that I felt the referees were either intimidated or bullied the other night, and really if they had taken control of the game early in the game, I think it would have been a very different game and potentially a very different outcome. I felt particularly our forwards just got no protection. It actually reminded me of a football game from the 1980s. When forwards get very little protection in those days, and that kind of happened the other night. So hopefully, touch wood, it won't happen tomorrow.
The pre-match was emotional in Brisbane. Will not having that allow the players to have their heads in the game immediately?
No, look, I don't buy into all that, to be honest. My theory is quite simple, is that regardless of what happens away from the field before the game, as soon as you walk across the white line, you've got to be in game mode, no matter how bad or how good your preparation's been. It's as simple as that. And I think a great example of that was the Socceroos' recent game in Japan. I mean, they get held up, got to the game 30 minutes before the game and went straight out and got a great result against Japan. So I don't buy into all this, distraction and stuff. Players need to just focus.
What have you and the team learned from game one?
We've learned how aggressive Brazil are, how direct that they play, where their threats are, how dangerous they are as a team. And now that we've done that, we should be going into this game with, obviously we're going in with better knowledge, but also better preparation in the sense that we've experienced the game against them.
Do you expect Brazil to play the same way?
Yes.
And being even more confident after winning in Brisbane?
Yeah, I mean, look, one thing about Brazilian teams is that they never lack confidence. Brazilian teams, and not in an arrogant way, but Brazilians are Brazilians. They believe they're the best country in the world, next to Scotland. And when they go out in the field, they go out with a great deal of confidence. So that every Brazilian team I've ever witnessed, played against, Brazilian players I've worked with, all have those qualities.
No worries. What can Australia do to dissect the pace of the game and create some more clear-cut chances?
Well, that's a good question. We need to firstly nullify their threats a little bit better. We need to have the confidence and the courage to play our style of game when we get the opportunity to do that. And then we have to, the way the Brazilian team play, we have to make the most of our opportunities when we get into those 1v1 situations.
I think that's probably covered a lot of ones I would have asked, but it's just one thing on Kate and Ford. Obviously, a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, attack-wise, with it, obviously going to occur, all foul. And just the way that she goes about it, and see by the body language how keen she was to get get that win, do everything she could for the
Yeah.
team. She's already a great player, but this seems to have taken her to another level with that sort of mentality, would you say?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a great question. I think Caitlin this year has taken her game to another level. I think she's a great example of a player who's now up probably 30, 31, Caitlin, who even at that age can continue to improve. And I think, you know, I've watched a lot of her club football as well as international football this season, and she just seems to have gone to a different level, you know, both physically, her ability to dribble, her goal scoring ability, and just generally her all-round game have just continued to improve. And you know, she's such a significant player, and she comes from Wollongong, so she likes a battle. So you know, she doesn't take a step backwards, as we saw last night, and she's got a great determination to win.
She sounds like she's your kind of player that you would pick any day of the week first.
Absolutely, and interestingly, she's the kind of player that walked into our team as a 16-year-old. It's as simple as that. She didn't have the maturity then. She didn't have quite the same physical qualities that you have as a full adult, but she had all those other qualities of not really caring who she played against, going into every game and just playing the game on its merits. So she's just continued to do that. But what she's now done in the last little spell is even taken her game to another level and added another layer of quality.
One, two from you, Tim.
Let's got one more actually. This game is another sellout. How great is it to see the continued support for the Matildas?
Unbelievable. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's great for women's sport. I think it's great for football. The players are a great role model for any young players who want to play the game and achieve a game at a professional level and international level. I think, you know, the stuff that's happening around the Matildas now is just it's kind of unbelievable, to be honest.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone. That concludes the official pre-match press conference. Thank you, Tom, and see you.
Thank you.